And Giovanna Layfield, the 5'11 junior from Louisville, Kentucky, starting at the guards. Seisha Grant Allen, the 6'5 senior from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, at the center. And then also Alex Harris, the 6'3 redshirt junior from Lorain, Ohio, at the forward. Dayton with the opening possession, unable to capitalize with an Grant Allen shot from underneath. And on the other end, from the left baseline, misfiring long is Destiny Young. Dayton coming back to our left here as we are underway from Winter Park. 3-ball up and no good from the right wing from Jenna Burdett. And away with it goes Ashley Jackson up the left side of the floor. Michaela Timmons quickly looking to insert her pass to Destiny Young, and it's batted out of play. Last touch by Dayton, 37 seconds into the game. Good to be with you here on ESPN Radio 94.1 as Jenny Sims hits home the first Cox three-pointer of the afternoon to put the Lady Monarchs in front 3-0. Burdett will bring it across midcourt for the Flyers and lob it to the high block left side for Alex Harris, who squares almost to the basket, waits for Burdett to emerge from the baseline and hands it off. Burdett dribbles to the top, finds Grant Allen, right baseline, who misses from 14 feet, and away with it off of the tip goes Jenny Sims up the left side. Finds Ashley Jackson on the left wing, back out to Sims between the circles. Jenny sees a wide open lane, takes it down the lane, is tempted, and is blocked by Harris, but a little contact off the outstretched arm from Harris will send Sims to the line at 8:49 in the first quarter. Jenny Sims, as mentioned a second ago, 25.1 points per game. One of the team leaders in field goal percentage at 48.1%, as well as at the free throw line where she's just under 82% for the year. But coming off a season low 13 points in the loss to Syracuse yesterday afternoon as she makes the first of 2 free throw tries. Our officials for today's first game of Day 2 of the Florida Sunshine Classic as Sims makes the second. Eric Baker, Travis Jones, and Ty Bills. An all-male crew here for this first game. Dayton coming off a 17-point victory over Texas A&M has the ball to our left. On the left wing, here's Kelly Austria. Austria second on the team to Burdett in scoring at 10.6. Will dribble to the foul line from the left and leave it for Layfield. Layfield looks to the right corner and finds Grant Allen. Grant Allen extends to the wing, gets it back over to Layfield, back out to the right wing. Burdett will look to penetrate against the Lady Monarchs defensively, and getting into the heart of the lane, Burdett able to put it up and over some towering players for Old Dominion to make it 5-2 Lady Monarchs. From the left baseline, Mania Jones with a wraparound pass for Young, who quickly finds Jackson on the back door, but she has it batted out of play at 8:06 in the first quarter. Old Dominion will have it underneath with 21 on the shot. The inbounds goes left corner to Jones. Back out to Timmons. Timmons with a bounce pass up top to Jenny Sims, who emerges from the paint. Sims against a man-to-man coverage here from Austria. Is going to be guilty of traveling the basketball as she started to dribble to her left, picked it up, and dragged the pivot just as she was about to pass it off to her right to Destiny Young. That'll go down as the Lady Monarchs' first turnover of the contest here, just a little over 2 minutes in. As up the left side of the floor, Burdett will get a screen from Harris, but it's an illegal screen because Harris was moving from her left to right. So on that turnover from Dayton, Old Dominion will have it, attacking from left to right across your radio dial, or for those joining us here on FLSunshineClassic.com with live streaming video here today. Good to be with you and happy you could join us for the first of 4 games here at Rollins College today. From the top of the circle, Destiny Young. Short pass over to Jenny Sims to the right wing, Michaela Timmons. Waits for a screen to be set there for Destiny Young. It doesn't transpire thanks to help defense from Dayton, so Timmons has to bring it up top to leave it for Sims. Sims quickly drives down the lane and dumps it off at the last moment to Jackson, who puts it up and in for 2. 7-2 Old Dominion, 7:21 and counting to go here in the first quarter. On the bounce pass here from Burdett, it's going to be kicked away there by Timmons, which will give it to the Flyers underneath at 7:18. Although it looks like we had an inadvertent horn that occurred right around the same time as the kick. The shot clock will stay at 23 seconds. Dayton to inbound from the baseline with Burdett. Getting it into the right wing is Austria, who then dribbles to the foul line, leaves it for Layfield into the corner. Burdett on the left side with a 3, no good. Ball tapped around and hitting the floor a couple of different players. Jones for Old Dominion and Grant Allen for Dayton. A tie-up ensues, and the arrow gives it to the Lady Monarchs at 7:08 in the first quarter. The ODU Ball Kid program is presented by ABNB. ABNB delivering financial services in a manner that improves our members' lives and benefits our community. ABNB, open, honest, hardworking. Find out more at abnbfcu.org. Jenny Sims snaps it down from the top of the key to Destiny Young on the right block, who then hesitates but then puts up a shot, but is fouled as she was bumped from behind, it appears, by Grant Allen. We'll wait for the official call. Looks like it's going to go against Andy Sitkovic, the 6'3 senior from Croatia, seeing her first action of the contest is Destiny Young to the line, puts it around and through with the first free throw try. Old Dominion now leading Dayton 8-2. Sitkovic with her first, the third team foul already of the quarter here against the Dayton Flyers. Burdett already with a couple of quick ones here as well. The second free throw from Young is off the mark, and away with it come the Flyers to our left. Austria from the left wing had it stripped away for a moment, and on the tip she's able to recover it past midcourt and bring it back across the timeline. 18 on the shot, 6:41 to go first quarter. Circles around from the left wing, through the top of the key and down, and then is fouled at 6:30 of the quarter. Leading scorer for the Lady Monarchs, Jenny Sims, with her first personal. It's the first against the Lady Monarchs this afternoon. Inbounds left corner goes to Austria, who wanted to drive the baseline, but backing out against Jackson. Austria will lob it up top for Burdett. Burdett collapses toward the top of the circle, drives inward, kicks it to the right wing for Layfield. Back to the corner now, right side for Burdett, who now has the angle she wants, lobs it inside to Grant Allen, and she puts it off the glass and in for the Flyers. 8-4 Old Dominion with the ball in the lead. Sims caught in a double team, right side, gives it to Jones up top, over to Young, who misses from 14 feet. And away with it goes Austria for Dayton. Stops at the top of the key, stays on the dribble, does Austria. She hands the ball off to Layfield. Layfield around the perimeter will one-hand it over to the right side for Burdett. Burdett gets to the top, swings it over to Austria left wing against Destiny Young. Austria takes a couple of dribbles off a screen set by Grant Allen and knocks it down from 17 feet out. Dayton with 4 straight points here in the last minute or so, making it 8-6 Old Dominion. Timmons to the top of the circle, gets a screen from Young and leaves it now for Jackson, who comes from left to right, cutting in from around the perimeter, turns around, goes back to Young at the top of the circle, over to Sims, avoiding a double coverage here from Dayton, inside to Jones, looks around, finds Young coming down the lane, leaves it for her, but then Young has it stripped out of her hands. Unfortunately for the Flyers, they're unable to keep on possession of the basketball, and it's out of bounds to Old Dominion on the baseline with 8 on the shot, 5:07 to go in the opening quarter. Lady Monarchs by 2 in the early going. Jackson will inbound from the baseline here for Old Dominion. AJ looking inside, instead goes back out to the left wing. The pass for Sims, who quickly drives inside the foul line and knocks it down from 13 feet. Jenny Sims now with a total of 7 of the Lady Monarchs' 10 points as Old Dominion leads Dayton 10-6. But a hand check from Michaela Timmons shortly off the Flyer inbound will bring us to our first scheduled break in the action. Just a reminder, if you own and live in your Hightower, back in the studio in Virginia Beach, this is Doug Ripley welcoming you back to live coverage of Lady Monarch basketball on the ODU Sports Radio Network, where Old Dominion is out to a 10-6 lead over Dayton. Midway through the first quarter, Flyers with the basketball to our left. And by the way, just to clarify, Burdett with the basketball left wing does not have a foul in this game. I read her point tally instead of fouls by accident. It's Alex Harris who has a couple of personals already for the Flyers. Spotting up and knocking it down from mid-range is Sitkovic, and the Flyers within 2 of the Lady Monarchs, 10-8 at 4:31 and counting in the opening quarter. Raven Kemp seeing her first action of the contest. She became the first Lady Monarch to foul out of a game this year, and that just the 9th game this season already for Lady Monarch basketball. She has it on the right wing, lobs it on the pick and roll to Odegwa Oibuki, who then has it blocked on the way up by Grant Allen. And off of the block, Old Dominion unable to corral the board thanks to pressure underneath, not only from Grant Allen, but also Giovanna Layfield. Dayton with the basketball now. We'll walk it up here with Burdett at the point, along with Sitkovic. Austria, Grant Allen, and Layfield. Dayton played 7 players in their 17-point victory over Texas A&M. Old Dominion played the entirety of its traveling roster of 14 in a 26-point loss to 19th-ranked Syracuse. As Kemp comes away with the steal, looks across the way, finds Jenny Sims, who cannot get the shooter's touch from 3 on the right wing. Away with it up the right side goes Layfield for Dayton. Leaves it for Austria, who then takes it to the baseline right side, gets caught in a double team, backs it out to Layfield. Crossway from Burnett, who swishes home the 3 to give Dayton its first lead in the contest, 11-10, with 3:32 and counting to go in our opening quarter. Old Dominion 3 of 8 from the floor early on. Dayton 5 of 9. Dribble drive from the left wing. Kemp is met by pressure near the lane and is able to release it up and over traffic to Oibuki, who hits it from the foul line to put Old Dominion back on top 12-11. Oibuki's first points of the game. Circling around to the basket and down the lane she goes as Austria, but her left-hand runner is off the mark. The putback is going to be blocked by Young off the hands of Grant Allen, but Austria has the basketball again for the Flyers. Over to Layfield, to Sitkovic, and then over to Canditelli, that's Burdett, number 14 with the basketball. Over to Austria. Austria dribbles to the top, then crosses over, gets tangled up with Kemp, and Raven's going to be hit with the Old Dominion foul at 2:47, the Lady Monarchs' 3rd team foul of the quarter. And again, that was an unusual circumstance for Old Dominion. Not a team that is prone to fouling out players. In fact, Kemp just the first to do it for the Lady Monarchs this year in that loss to Syracuse. So, little out of the ordinary. That's not to say they haven't fought foul trouble at times this year. They have, as Layfield is guilty of traveling off the inbound right in front of her from the baseline. That'll go down as Dayton's 3rd turnover of the game. Old Dominion with just 1 thus far. Lady Monarchs in front of the Flyers, 12-11, approaching 2.5 to go in our first quarter. From the left wing, getting a screen from Oibuki is Sims as she pulls up at the foul line but misfires. Grant Allen, the rebound, trying to escape Destiny Young, marking her up immediately. Now finds the long outlet up the left side in Layfield, who will skip it all the way across to Lauren Canditelli, who's got range, but she misses a bit strong from 3. The rebound, Oibuki. Up the middle of the floor, she finds Kemp, who will settle into a half court for Old Dominion. To the right side, she finds Jenny Sims in a double team. Sims trying to back out, now works her way around it, finds an open lane, takes it up the middle, right-hand runner, good, and she's fouled at 2:05 in the first quarter as Old Dominion extends its lead over Dayton to 3, 14-11. Sims held to 13 points in the loss to Syracuse, already with 9, and we've barely played 8 minutes of basketball. Leading scorer at the moment for Dayton is Burdett with 5, 2 apiece for Grant Allen, Sitkovic, and Austria. By the way, that foul on Burdett is officially her first, as Sims converts on the 3-point play, and Old Dominion leads Dayton 15-11. Up the left side of the floor, Burdett met at midcourt by Raven. Kemp in a man-to-man will get screened off by Grant Allen as she gets inside the perimeter, kicks it right wing to Canditelli into the corner where Sitkovic knocks down the 3. Dayton within 1 now as Jessica Munoz, the freshman, seeing her first action of the game, will handle the inbound. Also in the game for the first time today for the Lady Monarchs, Kiana Brown coming off of her season-high 14 in the loss to Cuse. Sims from the right wing squares up, has an open look, tries it, but misfires from 3, and Grant Allen comes away with the board. Ahead to Burdett. Burdett motors her way down the lane. Right-hand layup, no good. Grant Allen underneath gets the board, kicks it back out to Burdett, left wing, who misses the 3. The rebound, Oibuki. Goes to Sims, and Sims up the middle of the floor for the Lady Monarchs, up by 1. Sims into the lane, jump stop in the lane, kicks it left corner for Brown, who dribbles the baseline. Right-hand runner is good from about 8 feet out. Kiana Brown on the board quickly here at Rollins College as Old Dominion leads 17-14, approaching a minute to go in the first quarter. Burdett on a give and go now with Sitkovic. Hands it off to Layfield. Around the perimeter she goes, but then it gets lost in translation thanks to frustration from the Old Dominion defensive pressure, which leads to a steal from Raven Kemp, and Kemp lays it up and in with the left hand. 19-14, Lady Monarchs. Kemp, who had 5 in the loss before fouling out in the end of the third quarter with her first 2 points of the game. 6 different Lady Monarchs have entered the scoring column thus far, led by Sims with 10. On the right wing, Canditelli goes to Burdett at the top. She quickly takes it down the lane, forces it up with the right hand, no good. has it blocked, but she's also fouled at 24.9 in the quarter. That'll be the fourth team foul on the Lady Monarchs, matching the number of team fouls Dayton has to this stage of the game. Munoz picking up the foul for the Lady Monarchs, her first. The first one up and in for Jenna Burdett. Leading scorer on the Flyers at 12.4 a game. Also leads the team in assists at 4.2. Averaged 11.5 points and just under 5 assists a game for the Flyers a year ago. Coming off a 14.7 assist performance in the 74-57 win for the Flyers over Texas A&M yesterday. And she will go 2 for 2 at the line at this trip for Dayton. 19-16, Old Dominion with the ball in the lead as Dayton came out with a little pressure, but it quickly pulls it back out and into a 2-3 zone they go. Final possession, we believe, of the first quarter for Old Dominion. Timmons with the basketball as she's back into the game for Kemp. Over to Gianna Smith, seeing her first action of the contest, avoiding a stealing attempt there from Austria. To Timmons, left wing, trying to bank home the three is Brown. It's no good, but Jones with the rebound with a touch pass over to Gigi Smith, who puts it off the glass and in just as time expires in our first quarter. Old Dominion at the end of one leads Dayton 21-4. Dayton will emerge from the huddle with head coach Shauna Green, with Jenna Burdett, Sasha Grant Allen, Giovanna Layfield, Kelly Austria, and Maddie Dennis seeing her first action of the contest for the Flyers. Grant Allen to the right wing now on to our left from our vantage point for the Flyers as the second quarter gets underway. Austria swings it through Burdett to the left corner for Layfield, who misses the three. Off the back iron it goes, and on the long rebound on the run goes Gigi Smith. Sees an opportunity to take it into the lane, but is going to be guilty of the offensive foul as Burdett was there ready and waiting with about a second to spare. Smith did not see her coming because she was trying to spin out to the right to kick it out. Instead, it'll be Gigi Smith's first personal and the first team foul on Old Dominion here in the second quarter. Dayton with the basketball, Lady Monarchs by 5. Burdett lobs it to the high block on the right side for Grant Allen. Looks into the lane, trying to force a bounce pass through traffic for Layfield, and it's intercepted by Jenny Sims. Sims to the top of the circle, dribbles right of the lane, gets a little body check on her way to the basket, put it up and in, but it's not going to count at 9:18 in the quarter, as the blocking foul will give it to Old Dominion underneath. And that one's going to go. They're showing 44 on the board, but I do not have a 44 on my roster. 34. It's going to be Layfield, picking up the foul, her first, and also the first of the quarter on the Flyers. Timmons with the basketball for the Lady Monarchs, right wing. Getting met by double coverage, a little help defense there from Dayton. Will have to trade passes right side with Destiny Young. Timmons jumps up in the air and snaps it to the foul line where Jones spins and takes it into the lane. Spins again, puts it up and in with the right hand. 23-16, and the freshman Mania Jones with her first points of the game. Jones now back to the basket against Grant Allen, posting up against her, who spins, puts it up with the left hand. No good, but she's fouled at 8:50 and will shoot a couple of free throws. For Mania Jones, her first personal of the contest. Today's State Farm agent of the game is Tracy Vincent of Portsmouth. Call Tracy by her telephone number, 757-399-7595, for all your home, life, and auto insurance needs. Tracy Vincent of Portsmouth. Again, that number, 399-7595, today's State Farm agent of the game. First free throw up and no good here from Grant Allen, the 6'5 senior from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, averaging 8.3 points and 6.5 boards a game. Had 11 points in the victory over Texas A&M. The extended arms and the flick of the wrist with the right hand, no good from Grant Allen. Young gets the board for Old Dominion. Outlets it to Timmons and then switches floors to Sims. Jenny from the right wing will breeze past Austria. It is met by helping defense from Sikovic, but it's too late. Jenny off the glass and in for two, and Old Dominion with its largest lead of the contest, 25-16. Burdett into the lane, kicks it out, left wing three, no good from Canatelli. The rebound underneath against a bunch of Lady Monarchs is up and in on the putback for Grant Allen. Timmons will bring it across as Dayton gets within 7 of Old Dominion, 25-18. Timmons to the left wing, hands it off now for Jackson. Jackson dribbles to the top of the key, met by double coverage, will release it to Jones, who is open. Minaya down the lane, spins, looks across the lane, finds Destiny Young for two, and timeout's going to be called by Dayton. Old Dominion, 2 minutes into the second quarter, out to a 9-point lead over the Flyers, 27-8. Dayton 6-2 in the opening 2 minutes of the second quarter, and as a result now lead the Flyers 27-18. Dayton will bring it up the middle of the floor from right to left here with Jenna Burdett at the point against Michaela Timmons in a man-to-man for the Lady Monarchs. Over to the left wing, Maddie Dennis quickly snaps it down to Grant Allen, who misses over a couple of players for Old Dominion, but gets a second crack at it, and this time will cash in. 27-20. Grant Allen now with 6 for the Flyers. Leading scorer is Burdett for Dayton with 7. On the left wing, handing it off is Timmons to Sims. Sims quickly into the lane, spots up and puts it up and in with the right hand extended over Grant Allen. Jenny Sims with her first points out of the break. She's got 14, including 4 this quarter, and the Lady Monarchs in front 29-20. But a foul on Old Dominion will give it to Dayton underneath, and that's going to be the second against Minaya Jones, coming here in this quarter at 7:25. Baseline inbound coming up momentarily for Burdett. Burdett gets it into the right baseline. We're working our way between a couple of Lady Monarchs. Austria kicks it back out to the Burdett in the left corner this time. Back up top, the 3-ball off the mark from Maddie Dennis, and away with it goes Jenny Sims. Sims now with her 3rd rebound of the game. Skips it all the way across from right to left to Timmons, who quickly lobs it in for Minaya Jones. Jones with 2 fouls against Grant Allen, pushes it back out to Sims. Sims wanting to drive, but doing a nice job defensively this time is Austria. She gives it to Young, who finds Timmons to reset with 10 on the shot. Timmons off the hand check from Burdett, gets past her, and somehow, some way falling to the floor, puts it up and in over the 6'5" Grant Allen, as Old Dominion has a double-digit lead for the first time today, 31-20. Top of the circle, an open look from 3. Dennis misses around and out. You'll recall Dayton hit 9 of their first 12 from the outside yesterday in a 17-point win over Texas A&M. Sims on the other end, unable to convert on a fadeaway in the lane from 10 feet out. Here come the Flyers on the left wing with Austria. Austria wanted to take it to the baseline, instead pulls it back out as she had a teammate in the corner. Now she'll go to work, and Old Dominion falls asleep on the defensive side of the ball as Austria is just allowed to just coast in from the left wing, and a couple of different Lady Monarchs just stood there and watched her go in. And
I feel like we got worn down by the game yesterday because we played a lot of people. You know, Jenny got in foul trouble, so she played less minutes than normal. You know, so I think both teams are fine. Both teams will be ready to go. You know, I do think that they had a couple people hurt yesterday, one of whom's back now today, it looks like. But I think their shorter bench was out of necessity, not by design, but I think it really helped them. I think it really made a positive difference.
That was Jim Corrigan. As we're back to basketball, Raven Kemp back into the game out of the timeout from the Lady Monarchs, missing it from about mid-range. And on the other end, it's going to be a Lady Monarch foul coming at 5:49 here in the second. And it's a big one for Old Dominion, as Jenny Sims has just picked up her second personal, as Dayton has the basketball on the sideline, trailing the Lady Monarchs 31-22. And Sims is now off the floor, sitting over by the bike, and keeping the blood pumping here with 5:44 to go now in the second, as Old Dominion again commits a foul, already their 5th team foul of the quarter, and as a result, the Flyers will go to the line for the rest of the way here in the second. It'll be 2 shots now for Jenna Burdett. 67% free throw shooter, has a couple here, and the first one curls through. So Sims with her second. And a moment ago, Raven Kemp also picking up her second. She's going to have to take a seat. Minaya Jones also with a couple of fouls for the Lady Monarchs, but she is already on the bench. Second one also good for Burdett, and it's now 31-24. Burdett with 9 for the Flyers. Lady Monarchs with the lead in the basketball. Timmons dribbles to the left, hands it off to Brown, who goes up top to Oibuki. Waits for Jackson to come from the right corner, hands it off to her. Over to Brown. Inside she goes to Oibuki, who then kind of takes an odd fall to the floor on the left post, and is going to be fouled on her way to the basket at 5:26. 2 shots on the way now for Oibuki, the 6'1" redshirt junior from Memphis, Tennessee, averaging 3.5 points and 3.5 boards a game. Of course, you'll recall last year Oibuki missed the entirety of the season with an injury. Prior to that, she averaged just over 4.5 points a contest in her sophomore year, shooting the ball 42% from the field, also averaging just under 3.5 rebounds a game. She misses the first and will have one more for the Lady Monarchs, who lead Dayton 31-24. Oibuki, 4 points, 4 rebounds in the loss to Syracuse. 2 of those boards coming on the offensive glass. She has had 4 or more rebounds in the last 6 games for Old Dominion, and she'll split a pair of free throws here a moment ago. 32-24, Lady Monarchs. Right wing, here's Austria. Dribbles out to the top of the key. Crosses up. Timmons now dribbles to the left. Hands it off to Layfield, who takes it around the bend. And she will leave it for Burdett. Burdett will be hand-checked by Jackson at 5:11 in the second quarter. Karen Barefoot not pleased at all by that call, although not voicing it, just expressing her opinion non-verbally. As for Jackson, that's her first personal. Again, the Lady Monarchs are over the limit on team fouls. Burdett to the line, rattles home the first. She becomes the first Flyer in double figures with 10 points, now 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Dayton as a team has missed the other 2 free throws they've attempted thus far. But Burdett now 6 for 6 with 11 points today as the Flyers are within 6, 32-26. Timmons across midcourt, dribbles to the left for Old Dominion, puts it between her legs, dribbles back to the right to the top of the key against Burdett, finds Young, and Destiny almost hits it, but it goes around and out from 15 feet out. Off to the races up the right side goes Giovanna Layfield for Dayton. Gets caught in a double team right wing and then skips it across for Burdett. Burdett over to the left wing, will hand it off to Austria on the run. Turns around, goes back to Burdett on the wing. Burdett lobs it into Grant Allen, posting up against Destiny Young. Backing in against her, turns around, hooks it up and in with the right hand as Dayton now within 4, 32-28. Grant Allen now 4 for 7 from the field. She's got 8 points. From the top of the circle, Timmons over to Jackson. Quickly gets it inside to Oibuki. Backing in on Grant Allen. Nice move to the basket off the window and through for Odegba Oibuki. 34-28. Oibuki now with 5. From the top, Burdett dribbles in, kicks it out to Austria, looks down the lane, is able to find Maddie Dennis, but she misses the right-hand runner. Rebound Grant Allen. Kicks it out to Layfield. Her 3 no good from the left wing. The rebound Oibuki. She finds Timmons up the middle on the outlet. Up the left side, she goes to Ashley Jackson. Settles on the wing. And against Austria, she'll feed Oibuki up top. Looking down low for her fellow front court counterpart there, Destiny Young. Instead, she's going to have to go to Timmons' right wing. Timmons to the top of the key. Wraparound bounce pass into the lane for Young. And her turnaround shot is partially deflected by Dennis, who gets the board for Dayton. The outlet up the left side for Burdett. Burdett then cuts back to the top of the key. Dribbles to the right of the lane. Turns around, finds Dennis at top, who swings it left wing for Austria. Inside to Grant Allen, posting up against Oibuki. Kicks it back out now for Austria, who swings it through Dennis over to Burdett, who will bring it back out with 10 on the shot. Burdett, big jump stop into the lane past Timmons, puts it up and in, and Timmons looked to have taken a bit of a shot to the face there. She is agonizing in pain here for the Lady Monarchs as the clock has been stopped at 3:09 in the second quarter as Dayton cuts the Old Dominion lead down to 4, 34-30. Timmons now on all fours as Megan Hammonds has come out along with head coach Karen Barefoot to tend to their player on the floor. While we have a break in the action, we want to remind you Langley Federal Credit Union is proud to support Old Dominion Athletics and their community. At the end of the season, Langley Federal Credit Union will make a donation to the Langley for Families charity. Want to learn more? Visit langleyforfamilies.org. Timmons is helped off, walks on her own accord, but is guided over to the end of the Old Dominion bench by Old Dominion's athletic trainer, Megan Hammonds. She will have a look at her now. In her place will come Carolina Bernadecco for the first time today. 5'6" sophomore from Lisbon, Portugal, averaging about a point, a rebound, and an assist a game. She'll join Young, Jackson, Brown, and Oibuki in white for ODU. And Bernadecco will bring it up. Carolina across midcourt, gets a screen from Young, cuts back to the left, leaves it for Brown. Brown from the wing, dribbles to the top of the key, then cuts down the lane, swoops it up with the right hand, a little too strong, but Kiana Brown is fouled at 2:57 and will go to the line for a couple of Lady Monarch free throws to try to build on this 4-point lead. That foul against Dayton Ashley Parkinson, 6'2 sophomore from Newark, Ohio. That'll be her first and the third of the quarter on the Flyers. And I mention that because Old Dominion's been over the limit on team fouls here for about the last 3 minutes of game time. Brown missing the first will have one more. Again, a day removed from a season-high 14 points in the loss to Syracuse. And she goes 0 for 2 at this trip to the line. Away with it up the left side goes Austria now for Dayton. The Flyers within 4. Gets to the left baseline, pulls it back out and finds Burdett. Burdett dribbles from left to right in the backcourt. Gets to the right wing. Tries to pass Ashley Jackson. It is met by a hand check at 2:40. A call's being made here today, and Old Dominion's going to have to adjust at some point here with the hands extended. Barefoot now pleading her case on that not being a call. In the meantime, it is a foul regardless as Jackson picks up her second, and Burdett goes back to the line for Dayton. Flyers have been getting it done at the free throw line, inching their way back in what was an 11-point Lady Monarch lead earlier this quarter. It's down to 3 after Burdett makes the first. She'll have one more. The second, also good. 34-32. Burdett remains perfect at the line for 8 for 8 and has a total of 15 points, which leads all scorers. Top of the key, Young for the Lady Monarchs. Over to Brown, left wing, inside to Oibuki. Odegwa with a nice spin move into the lane, but her shot over Parkinson's no good. She gets her own rebound, and off the pump, forces Parkinson on her tiptoes, and with that happening, she draws enough contact on the second attempt to get fouled at 2:25 and go to the line for a couple of free throws as Parkinson quickly goes into foul trouble with this her second. Oibuki came into today's game just 25% from the line. Old Dominion as a team, 70.1%. As Odegwa misses the first, now 1 for 3 on the day at the charity stripe. Lady Monarchs as a team, now a grand total of 5 for 10 in their free throw shooting. Make that 6 for 11 as Odegwa makes the second. She's got 6 points, and Old Dominion back in front by 3, 35-32. Top of the circle, here's Dennis. To her left to Burdett against Gigi Smith in a man-to-man. Floats it in the corner, left side for Parkinson, and quickly lobs it inside for Layfield. Layfield playing in the post in place of Grant Allen. Unable to convert on the reverse, but there's going to be an Old Dominion foul at 2:04, and back to the line go the Flyers. This time it's Giovanna Layfield, the 5'11 junior from Louisville, Kentucky. Averaging 6.7 points, 6.4 rebounds a contest. 62% free throw shooter, comes up short on the first of 2. That foul in Old Dominion against Kiana Brown. That'll be her first of the day. Foul trouble, an issue thus far for the Lady Monarchs. Kemp, Jones, Jackson, and more importantly Sims, all with 2 fouls apiece. As Timmons is back into the game healthy for Old Dominion, she'll take the place of Bernadecco. Also back on for Dayton is Grant Allen in place of Parkinson with a couple of fouls. Second free throw is swished home from Layfield. Layfield with her first point of the game, and Dayton within 2 of Old Dominion, 35-33, inside 2 minutes to go in the first half. Timmons from the top of the circle gets a screen from Young, stops on the left wing, looking inside after trying to snap it down over her head, and she instead bounces it inside to Oibuki, who then trades passes on the right wing with Kiana Brown. Turnaround shot for Odegwa is off the mark, but Destiny Young gets the O-board. Back out to Timmons, inside the arc she goes, spots up off balance, no good, but Burdett with contact on the arm extended will send Michaela Timmons to the line for a couple of free throws at 1:39 in the second quarter. Both teams now over the limit on team fouls as Burdett guilty of her second personal. First of the quarter, though. Timmons with the first comes up short. 35-33, Old Dominion on top of Dayton. A minute 39 until halftime. Lady Monarchs really struggling from the free throw line today, as Timmons, 50% free throw shooter, will miss the second as well, and that number will continue to slide down. Rebound, Grant Allen. The outlet up the left side goes to Austria. Austria will hand it off on the wing for Canatelli. Inside she goes to Dennis. Dennis against Oibuki, dribbling from left to right. Tries to scoop it up with the right hand and is well off the mark. Going to the left corner to get the ball for Old Dominion is Young, and she will send it up the side of the floor to Gigi Smith. Now to the Lady Monarchs right-sided. Smith will cut back left after spinning off of Austria. Turns around, goes back to Timmons with 16 on the shot. Timmons from the top of the circle gets a screen from Young. Destiny rolls, accepts the pass from Michaela to the left wing for Kiana Brown. Another screen from Young, and again rolling back over to Young, who will knock it down from 19 feet on the left wing on the spin after setting the screen for Brown, and Brown gets the assist as a result. 37-33, Lady Monarchs in front, 48 seconds to go until halftime. Grant Allen applies the pick as Austria dribbles to the lane, kicks it right corner for Dennis, who hits the three. And just like that, Dayton within a point of Old Dominion, 37-36. Dennis with her first points of the contest as Austria has her first assist. Timmons with the basketball right wing for Old Dominion. Up top to Brown. About 7 seconds now between the shot clock and the game clock for the Lady Monarchs. As Brown dribbles to the right of the lane, gets to the baseline, turns around, looks up top, finds Oibuki, who tries from 18 feet and misses, but the ball tapped out and recovered by Gigi Smith with 12 seconds and counting. Hands it off to the point guard, Timmons, who waits with 6 seconds before starting to dribble toward the basket. Dribbles to the right, wanted to shoot from three, instead looks up top to Oibuki, dumps it off to Gigi Smith. Smith running out of time, unable to put up a shot on the run from 18 feet as time expires in our first half of play. Old Dominion led by 11 points, but got bit by the foul ball.